Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm living.
That's that's very important.
Yeah, I have to.
Yes. Now we have four major stories that we'll be treating briefly for this particular show. Now, P2B has filed a massive 1.5 billion naira lawsuit against Deji Adeyanju over what he calls damaging and defamatory remarks. The battle lines are drawn and Obi isn't backing down. But is this a fight for reputation or a political one in short? I guess we'll find out. In Bayelsa, Kenneth Okonkwo is turning up the heat on INEC, demanding that Governor Diri's seat be declared vacant after his reported resignation from the PDP. The political game in Bayelsa just got messier. Now, back on campus, a disturbing photo from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka has sparked outrage. Now, education consultant Alex Onya has pulled the curtain back on what he calls deplorable conditions in the male hostel. This isn't just an eyesore, it's a national embarrassment. And in aviation, finally, the NCAA is not taking Kalu's bold claim lightly. After he alleged that Nigerian pilots smoke Indian hemp, the NCAA has clapped back, demanding evidence and threatening action. Now, we'll break this all down in the studio. We're starting first with the court situation happening with Mr. P2B and Deji Adeyanju. We'll recall that for the longest, for a while now, especially in 2025, Deji has been dragging Mr. P2B like small tiger generator, if we're being honest, because of his political stance and calling him all sorts of names like scam, fraudster, leader of a mob, and all of that. Now, Mr. P2B has come out to sue him for defamation, 1.5 billion naira in total. Now, first of all, is 1.5 billion naira realistic? Is this something that we think Deji, if found guilty, can be able to pay off? Now, but if it isn't, do you think this is just a case that is trying to redefine the boundaries of free speech and, you know, defamation in Nigerian politics, Ife?
Well, I don't actually think that amount of money, 1.5 billion, is more like achievable. I don't think Deji can actually afford that. But we don't know the damage, the weight of the damage he caused to Mr. P2B's reputation. And it is only you that is in that shoe that will know how it pinches you or how the shoe hurts you. So P2B has come out to say that 500 million is for aggravated damages and the 1 billion is for emotional and reputational harm. So, and there is this stuff about, free speech. You have, according to Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, which implies that you have the right to hold opinion or share your opinion. But that 1999 Section 39 of the Constitution is not absolute. It has limitation in the sense that you cannot, fabricate things that are false against somebody. Let's talk about the law of defamation, which is libel and slander, which slander has to do with spoken word against someone, falsehood, spreading false rumors about someone that tend to tarnish their reputation. Now, libel, on the other hand, talks about written derogatory statements against someone that could tarnish his or her reputation. Now, P2B here is saying that you called me names that I am not. You understand? For that you should be sued for certain amount of, money. He has agreed. It's not just him that came up with that. His lawyer drafted such, agreement, and they sued him. And I think these political figures, especially Mr. P2B, have been trying so much to maintain a clean reputation, a clean slate for him, for himself and the body he represents. And we know that election is fast approaching, so this is more like a form of tarnishing his image. And I feel that apart from the money, it's not completely about the money. He is trying to send a message to people, not just this public figure like Deji Adeyanju, because his words carries weight. You understand? He's trying to tell Nigerians, yes, you have your free speech, you can say anything you want, but at the same time, do not defame people, do not tarnish people's reputation. So, but I am not seeing a situation whereby people's free speech are being censored or anything like that. It's more like you are trying to trample on my rights, and this is me standing on my rights, because where your own right ends, my own begins.
All right, thank you, Informa. Now, I've heard that. Now, do you think public figures should be expected to tolerate more criticism than private individuals, seeing that they are in the public space?
Yes, I think they should actually accept a lot of criticism. Why do we even criticize in the first place? Is it not for people to go back, the people you're critiquing, to go back to their drawing board and see what they are not doing right and see if they can correct it? That is the essence of criticism. You understand? So they should be able to accept criticism and work on that. But at the same time, like I said, when you're trying to criticize somebody, don't go to the extent of name calling to tarnish that person's reputation. You should be able to filter the things that you say in as much as you have free speech.
You know, in this era of lots of political activists or what have you, we saw the situation that happened recently with Showore and the president. Now, he is under attack from the current administration for calling the president a criminal. Do you think that that is the same case with Deji right now, who has come out to call His Excellency Peter Obi names such as scam, a fraud, leader of a mob, and other names as well? Do you think that the same type of weight that was meted out or is being tried to met out on Showore should be applicable here?
There is difference. Adeyanju, Deji, yes, Adeyanju. He said the former president, the former governor of Anambra State is a scum, that he is a scam, that he is a religious bigot. He said a whole lot of, things against him, and he didn't provide any proof that he is all those names that he called him. Then we move over to, what's his name, Showore, calling the president a criminal. He is not backing down by calling the president a criminal. He said he is ready to fight the case in court. So you don't know if he has the evidence that proves that the president indeed is a criminal. So I think Adeyanju here, maybe he can provide his own proof or evidence that proves that the governor, former governor of Anambra State, was or is those names that he called him. Showore on the other side have his own evidence. He might have his own evidence. I don't know.
Exactly. Now, there is something that you mentioned there that is really different. It is the fact that Showore says or claims that he has evidences and documents to back up that particular statement that he has made, and he has refused to take it down. Well, I think we'll have to wait and see what Mr. Deji's response will be with this court case. Now, we have to move over quickly to what is going on in Bayelsa State. Now, actor and chieftain of the ADC in person of Dr. Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to urge the INEC to actually take away the position from Governor Diri as governor of Bayelsa State because of his resignation from the PDP. Now, he says constitutionally, you cannot be without a political party. That is, either you defect to another party, and if you resign, that means you are forfeiting your position. And he also went on to urge the INEC to actually make sure that that happens within 90 days. Now, to be honest, Governor Diri has not come out to say that he is defecting to another party, although a lot of politicians and governors we are seeing today have defected to the APC. With what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying, it sounds constitutionally backed. Do you think every Nigerian should lend their voice to this particular particular cry from Dr. Kenneth?
Somehow, why do I say that? The section of the Constitution that he cited, which is section 177 of the 1999 Constitution, was actually a qualification before the election, not mid-tenure. I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say here. So he actually has the right to, you know, say this, but at the same time, the former governor of Bayelsa, or the governor, sorry, the current governor of Bayelsa, have not actually come to declare the party he is defecting to. But at the same time, I don't think he should be stripped of, you know, his position, because the whole qualification is before the election, according to INEC, not in between his rule or his reign. I don't know if that is making sense. Then if the public should actually lend their voices to this, it's possible, but at the same time, it's not constitutionally, you know, binding that he should do so. Like I said, it was earlier.
A lot of people would argue that because of what the Constitution stipulates. It says if you resign from your political office, it should be left vacant.
Then I think the case should be left for the courts to decide, not for people to decide.
Then. Very well said. Now, with what is happening, you know, the governor of Bayelsa defecting, and what Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to say earlier this morning, where we're having the discussion, Mr. Daniel Sacramento brought it to our notice that there's actually punishment or consequences when you defect back to back here and there when you are in office. Now, and you know, I asked this question in the morning, the laws that we want to see, and this is what Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to say. We have a problem with implementation. Now, if this is so, if the court finds him guilty of this, because he really has not come out to say which party that he has defected to, if the court finds him guilty, do you think that this will set a trend where politicians will be more careful of defections?
Yes, definitely, because these people always have the habit of, you know, jobbing or juggling from one party to another because of the fact that they want to be closer to the federal power or the central power to, yes, collect whatever they are distributing. You understand? Forgetting the fact that in any party that you seem to belong to, that those allocations are constitutional. You understand? It does not matter the party that you belong to. So I think that will actually set the pace or the precedent for other political parties to actually trade in. And I believe that it could equally curb this defection. You understand? I think at this point there should be a law that strips these people of their political position when they defect. At least when you defect
there should
twice,
be something to lose.
You understand? Yes, there should be, you know, legal consequences for these people that defect. I think that we could actually start from there.
And I couldn't agree more. This is really going to change a whole lot and to curtail the way these governors or these politicians defect because of their personal interests. You know, still talking about the situation in Nigeria, we have to move over to Enugu State in UNN, where there is an eyesore of a picture depicting the male hostel in UNN. Now, this is the University of Nigeria, and to have such an image and to have such an infrastructure where it's supposed to house the leaders of tomorrow just says a whole lot about the situation in Nigeria and about our education system and sector. Now, the image you're seeing is where men or young men are supposed to stay during their time in school. The other day we were looking at a video, a trending video in Ekiti State, where young pupils were cleaning water and clearing and scooping water from their classrooms as a result of a collapsed roof. Now, this is what we are seeing. Now, Ifoma, first of all, how bad is it right now if students have to live in this sort of inhuman conditions? What does that say generally about our education sector?
You know, Alex Oyer's statement is quite apt. He said that Nigerians' education is under attack, and that is very true. It's even under more attack, like more than the attack he mentioned. The attack here is not that, I mean, they are bombing the universities, but the attack he's talking about is from government neglect. It is from corruption that is embedded in the system. Now, Sharon, let me remind you that billions go into political campaigns during campaign.
Yes.
You will see them allotting money for convoys and luxury projects. You will still see this set of persons traveling all over the world. Now, they came out of recent to say that the health sector in Nigeria is now accessible. You can treat cancer. But I know that one of the senators is the minister of
finance.
Yes, for finance. He was actually flown outside the country for treatment. Since your hospital in Nigeria can now treat ailments, why don't you treat yourself in this same Nigeria? Now look at the hub. Look at where these people campaign, come out to campaign for votes. Because I tell you the truth, the youth actually hold more, voter, power. You understand? You go to their schools to go and campaign. But look at the situation of the school. Sharon, how can these people study in this situation? How can, if I am in this school, I can't study. I can't reason at all. I can't sleep because I feel like I will be attacked in every given opportunity or every given time. Is either by rodents. Even animals cannot survive in such environment, I tell you.
It is despicable. It is
What
despicable.
is this?
That we have to face this in 2025.
But these people, universities here, are left to rot while these people jet around the world, go on shopping sprees every single time. And the painful part is that they even show it, they shove it to our faces for us to see that their children are living well. Because this is not your child. You don't care about the education. Should I even talk about the section, the 1999 Constitution, Section 18, which says that the government should strive to eradicate illiteracy. It is the right of every student in Nigeria to obtain, education. And in Section 14, subsection 2 of the same 1999 Constitution, it talks about security and welfare of students.
All right.
Now, do you see that their rights, apart from being a citizen of Nigeria, the right to education is being stripped off?
It is a sad situation now that the rights of Nigerians, both students and workers, are being stripped off, like you rightfully said. But the next question that I have was about the fact that loans now have been taken for budget and infrastructure just very recently, and they were planning to generate over $2 million to invest in our infrastructure. But we see situations like this every day, and the question is, where is all this money going to? We'll answer that question after this very short break.
Active Citizen Farms, turning waste into wealth. Every farmer knows the struggle of the rising feed costs, wasted produce, and shrinking profits. But what if the solution has been right under your nose? In fact, in nature itself. At Active Citizen Farms, we unlock the secret of the black soldier fly larvae, tiny creatures with a big impact. Our maggots, pre-pupae and pupae, are packed with natural protein, giving your fish, chicken, pigs, and turkeys the healthy boost they need to grow faster and stronger. The impact you'll see: healthier livestock that grow quicker and resist disease. Lower feeding cost, so your money stays where it belongs, in your pocket. Cleaner fats, as waste is recycled into valuable feed instead of rotting away. Bigger harvest and higher profits, giving you the power to expand your farming business. But we don't just supply, we walk the journey with you. Through hands-on training, we show farmers how to harness this simple innovation, turning everyday waste into a steady stream of feed and income. This is not just about farming. It's about food security, sustainability, and prosperity. By choosing Active Citizen Farms, you're not only feeding your animals, you're feeding Africa's future. Active Citizen Farms. Smart farming, healthy animals, prosperous farmers. Active Citizen Farms. Unlocking the power of black soldier fly larvae, turning maggots into money.
November 2025. The future of Anambra State in the next 4 years will be determined as we'll be electing our next governor. That's what I present to you guys this governorship debate that is not your regular kind of governorship debate. This is voices beyond the front line, where you get to stay in one room with the governorship candidates and hear them talk about their manifestos, the plans, and their targets. You get to sit and hear them talk. You get to ask them questions and get clarified. And by so doing, you can easily dictate who you want to elect on the election day. Right? This is amazing, I know. So join us at Hollywood Event Center on the 24th of October, 3 p.m. Let's hear these men talk and make the choices we deserve.
Welcome back from that short break. This is Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku, and joining me, as always, in the studio is Ifoma Oji. And before we went on that break, we were discussing the despicable state of our infrastructure, especially in our education sector, looking at the image showing the UNN male hostel. And finally, before we move on to the last story for today, I wanted to ask about how the government just recently moved to raise over $2 million for budget and infrastructure. Now, if such big amount of money is being raised for infrastructure, what does this say about the infrastructure that we can see in our education sector, where we have buildings like this still existing? And just to wrap it up, what would be your recommendation, especially for UNN, with what we're seeing currently?
Sharon, they don't care about education. And I remember when we talked about all these federal allocations to infrastructure that they don't name. They just hide it under infrastructure. Are you not supposed to tell the public that you make use of their money, what those infrastructures, the money is for? Are you not supposed to give them a breakdown? Is that not what government should be? Accountability. And I am asking, I think, is it not TED Fund that is supposed to be disbursing this money to these institutions? But what I'm seeing here is the fact that is either this money has actually been siphoned, because I know even if that amount of money they allocated to infrastructure was not allotted to the educational sector, I know that they actually still allot money to the educational sector. So I think these institutions actually have questions to answer. Not just that, I think TED Fund to have questions to answer in this scenario, in this case.
Okay.
Those money that they allot, how was it managed? Which school? I think they should provide a list of, you know, the disbursement they did to school, they distributed to schools, the money they distributed to school at this point. And then as regards to the second question he asked, I think that, you know, all the student union should actually seek accountability. They should demand transparency for all the maintenance budget. You understand? Because I know that they allotted money for maintenance, so they should actually demand accountability. And not just that, I think there should be a campus infrastructure audit, in the sense that every federal university should publish an annual report of hostels and classrooms and the lab conditions. You understand? And the things that are yet to be done, you understand, in those universities. So that's and then I think even the media have a role to play here too.
Now, we hope that they take these recommendations seriously. We have to wrap it up with the final story now, what is going on between NCAA versus Kalu. Now, he has come out to complain bitterly about the state of pilots when flying their airplanes. And he has said on several occasions that he has refused some pilots from flying him for fear of his safety and his life, saying that he has perceived Indian hem on them. And he has also alleged that they take Indian hem, that is Igbo, before they fly. And it's such a serious issue, seeing that this is no joke. That you're not driving, you're not riding a bicycle, you are flying a plane. And before now, just weeks ago, we saw that some pilots working for Air Peace, which is the biggest aircraft right now in Nigeria, they were tested and they saw that they had drugs in their system. Although Air Peace came out to say that they conducted a test an hour after that and they saw no drug or no alcohol in their system. Now, NCAA has come out in response to Kalu to say that no pilot in Nigeria can fly without their pilot license and a current medical certificate. And they also said they conduct both random and targeted drug and alcohol testing periodically. Now, what Kalu is saying is that there is no agent from the NCAA on board to always, before they even fly any plane, to always test the pilots for drugs and alcohol. But the NCAA is what I just picked up from this is that they have random tests that they conduct. Now, with all that they have put and set out as measures to prevent pilots from being high while they are flying, do you think it is enough or should they do more?
Well, I thought that we have actually concluded on this talk about, safety of people that board airlines or airplanes.
There are always new matters arising.
I thought that we have, with the Quam 1, Quam 2, Quam 3 and the rest of them, that these airlines officials are supposed to tighten their seat belts. I thought with all those exposure, the agenda setting of the media, they were supposed to tackle this even before Kalu's comment or speech on this. He came out and he disclosed that when you come close to some of these people, that they are high. That there was even one that he had to say, no, my guy, you're not in a correct, condition to fly this flight. And I am like, why are we negotiating people's lives? Why are we gambling with people's lives? You said that you have been screening them. You have been clearing them. How robust is it? How strict is it? Is the question that we should ask here. Because for another person to come out, I tell you, Kalu, who is a big figure, is coming out to say this. But I tell you that there are still people that are having this mindset. There are still people that have boarded planes that are having these same complaints. So I don't think they've actually done enough, to be honest.
And they should do more.
They should do more.
Now, but for them and for the aviation industry in Nigeria, what does this now mean for them? And also for people who board these airplanes, do you think that when we keep on hearing things like this, it would discourage people from flying?
Well, I think that other airplanes should actually, airlines should try as much as possible to live in a clean slate, in the sense that I know you're trying so much to protect your reputation, but I think there should be stricter policies on, your cabin crews and the rest of them. There should be stricter policies. And then for people that want to fly, I think they should demand that as they too are entering the airlines to board planes, that those people should equally be screened, like as it is hot. You understand? It shouldn't just be them that will be screened. Those people should equally be screened with them, so that they will ensure that their lives are equally safe. Because like I said earlier, people's lives should not be negotiated and should not be gambled with.
All right. At the end of the day, we are just asking that they pay closer attention to these things when they are being raised, so we don't have a repetition of, situations where people feel unsafe during a flights. Now, thank you very much, Ifeoma Oji, for your contribution to the show. To our viewers, thank you for joining us as always. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Go ahead to do that. Find us across all media at Active Citizens. And you can find me on my personal page at Sharon NM Chuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miselex.
Now, last but not the least, we are showing a special thank you to our technical crew for their dedication to making sure that we fly seamlessly. Till we come your way tomorrow, do have a good evening.